Hello everyone, welcome to Daily News Simplified. Today, Civil Services Preliminary Examination 2024 was conducted, and those who have given the paper, all the best to you, and God will bless you. And those who have not given the paper and those who are planning to give next year, I want to share one information that a number of questions like Cocoa, Raphael, Money Bill has been asked in the UPSC examination, which we have taken in our DNS discussion. Apart from that, we are also going to provide you the answer key with proper explanation, and along with that, we'll also going to provide you the analysis. Kindly like and subscribe to our channels, especially the YouTube channel as well as the Telegram channel to get that type of information. So let us start our discussion. We have taken today 5 topics. 2 topics will be from the perspective of mains examination, that is self-help group. In this, we will going to see what is self-help group, what are the challenges associated with the self-help group, and what government is taking measures in order to enhance self-help group in our country. Secondly, we will going to talk about what next for the Indian economy. What type of measures we can take in order to maintain a sustained economic growth, which will also help us to realize the goal to become a third largest world economy. From the perspective of preliminary examination, we have taken Xenotransplantation. This type of research is very important, and UPSC like this type of research or technology which are emerging in nature. Secondly, we will going to talk about Ranthambore National Park, certain characteristic of Ranthambore National Park, and MCQ based on that. And finally, we will going to conclude with Eflow monitoring system. So without losing time, let's jump to our first topic, that is self-help group. We have taken this article from the Hindu newspaper, page number 9, and the article read like this: Rajasthan SSG help African women to farm and flourish. What happened? Recently, a group of leaders of SSG from Western African countries, Mali and Senegal, has reached Rajasthan Dholpur district, where one of the non-governmental organization, that is self-help group, in this case Rajivika, is providing knowledge as well as training to the Western African counterpart in order to enhance their livelihood opportunity, in order to conserve environment, and at the same time in order to make cooperative federation. So they are involved in various activities like farming activities, biogas production, that is a part of energy, and poultry farming along with goat rearing. So they are mostly focusing on agriculture and allied activities. Along with that, they are also complementing it with energy part, that is biogas production. As we have taken this article, as you know, self-help group, civil society, non-governmental organization are part of our syllabus general studies paper number 2. And UPSC in the past has asked a number of questions based on this concept, that is self-help group. We have taken one question for reference, that is emergence of self-help group in contemporary times, which lead to withdrawal of state from the developmental activities. It means that SSG is performing certain developmental activities, which in turn persuaded the government to withdraw from the developmental activities. In this reference, we have to talk about the role of self-help group in developmental activities and the measures taken by the government of India to promote the SSG. So all the part of this question will be tackled in this discussion only. We will going to see one by one. Let us start our first point, that is what is the definition of self-help group. It is a voluntary organization of 10 to 20 people, predominantly women, but certain SSG also incorporate men as well, and they are organized for a common purpose or a common goal. The common goal can be economic development, their common goal can be social development as well. So we are going to see certain characteristic features of self-help group in order to enhance our understanding related to this topic. Composition. So they are voluntary organization composed of 10 to 20 people, and they are predominantly women. Around 46 million women are involved in one form or other form of self-help group. Secondly, it is a voluntary association. It means that people are joining the group based on their willingness, based on their choices. rather than they are forced to do so. So that is one characteristic feature. Other is saving and credit activities. What happens? The member of self-help group promote the habit of savings, which in turn the savings which are organized or accumulated at one place, and that saving will be used for the other members if they are in need of. So this type of facilities are provided by the self-help group. Apart from that, self-help group is an organization. They also take loans and various facilities from the banks as well. So self-help group enhances two things, that is saving, which is saving of the member itself. Second, loans from the financial institution, that is part of credit activities. Fourthly, we are going to talk about income generating activities. As we have seen in the context only, there may be a number of economic activities which will be income generating in nature. For instance, it can be agriculture activities, it can be allied activities like poultry farming, like goat rearing, and it can be another thing as well, like energy sector, biogas plant can be one areas. Apart from that, you know, the cooperatives of Amul, so they are very helpful to make India one of the largest producer of milk. So that is one thing. Now we are going to talk about their decision making process. So they take decision based on the debate, discussion, and they follow the democratic values for taking any kind of decision. And their decisions are based on consensus, that every member should be adhered with the whatever policy and programs they are opting for. Finally, they are focusing on capacity building. Capacity building in the sense that the members of the self-help group are generally persuaded to enhance their skill level, to enhance their management skills, to enhance their financial literacy, in order to enhance their economic opportunity or in order to enhance their efficiency as well. So this type of activities are also undertaken under self-help group, that is capacity building. Social and emotional support. As you know, they are a group of 10 to 20 members, and they share their experiences, they try to talk about their problems, and at the same time they come up with certain solutions. Apart from that, they also focus on certain social sectors like health, like education, women empowerment, maternal health care. There are a number of other social areas where self-help group are focusing. So if a group having composition which is of 10 to 20 members, and that will be of voluntary nature, and they perform savings and credit activities, and along with income generating activities, and they take collective decisions, and they focus on capacity building and social and emotional support, then this organization can be considered as a self-help group. Now we are going to see other thing, that is the benefit of self-help group. As I have told you, around 46 million women are involved in activities of self-help groups. As you know, women are one of the marginalized section in our country. They are vulnerable, and you know, the India is a patriarchal society where the capability of or the potential of women are not realized due to various socio-cultural barriers. But this self-help group is one of the tool which can help to emancipate the suffering of the women, especially through socio-economic benefits. Socio-economic benefits in the sense that self-help group involved in income generating activities, which in turn enhances the income of the women. And as you know, if the economic empowerment of some people or certain section will happen, that will also going to translate into social empowerment, which will eventually transform into political empowerment as well. For instance, if the income of the women is increased, they will focus more on health, education, living standards, right? So if this type of social needs are fulfilled, then the section which are performing this activity will be considered as a empowered group. Apart from that, one very important study shows that if the income of the women are increased or women become self-independent with respect to economy, then there is a huge positive correlation with their offspring. It is found that if the women education or if women literacy rate along with women income is increases, it translates into better health of their offspring, especially the girl child, better educational outcome, especially the girl child, and they also reduces various kind of issues like if we are investing more on a healthcare, especially for the members who are women, then the maternal mortality rate will also going to be decrease. And if this money will be used for their child welfare, then neonatal death under 5 children death will also going to be reduced. So it is one of the very important tools in order to not only empower the women but also solve various other social issues prevalent in our country like poverty, like violence against women. If women are economically empowered, there is very high chances that they will not be exploited by their family, by their society as well. So these are the some socio-economic benefits associated with the self-help group. Improve the status of women in family and society. As you know, the earning women or the income generating activities performed by women enhances the income, which will also translate into better say in the family, which in turn will enhance the family planning, like it will also help in reducing the total fertility rate. Apart from that, if somebody is seen having a huge economic empowerment, they are respected in the society as well. So such type of patriarchal which actually deny the opportunity to women will also going to be reduced due to this type of economic activity which are due to self-help group. As I have talked to you regarding the same, that it improves health and standard of living. As income increases, they will start investing in their needs as well as on their desired need as well. That will eventually enhance the quality or standard of living of that family, that people, and along with it will also help the intergenerational benefits to their offspring. Now we are going to see certain challenges associated with self-help group. As you know, most of the things which we have talked regarding the income generating activities involves or revolves around agriculture activities like farming, poultry, or other kind of activities. And as you know, agriculture is not a remunerative job in our country right now. Around 46% of our population is dependent on agriculture, and there is a problem of disguised unemployment as well. So this is all creating a hurdles in the agricultural development. And if agriculture development is not happening, then how it can help the farmers or the women who are involved in certain type of activities. So this is the challenge associated with the SSG as well, because they are mostly in the rural areas and where agriculture is the predominant form of occupation. So involving in agriculture activities will not provide them remunerative jobs. Secondly, we're going to talk about lack of technology. So there may be various reasons why there is a lack of technology. One can be their literacy. Digital literacy or technological literacy is generally found low in women, especially living in the rural areas. Secondly, there may not have enough income to purchase technology from India as well as from abroad. And apart from that, it is found that most of the women who are involved in SSG work with a very low technology. For instance, we are taking the concept example of weaving. You have seen that iron stick which women of the rural areas used to do during their lean time, and they do weaving. And such type of activity, that weaving activities, do not involve huge technology, and it also curves the problem. It also curves the opportunity of economic of scale, because the production is very limited. It is generally made by hand, which do not able to scale in a larger production. That is one challenge associated with the self-help group, that they are using rudimentary technology. Apart from that, they are not utilizing economic of scale. Thirdly, access to market. It can be because of various reasons. It may be because of geographical isolation. There is no connectivity, or there is no market as such. And most of the products sold by the SSG are in the rural hearts or in the rural market only. They do not find place in the urban areas, or there are number of platforms coming up like digital e-platforms, Flipkart, Amazon. We will not able to find certain lot of SSG working or producing their product in that type of platform. So access to market is one thing, and that is also because they lack marketing skill, they lack advertisement skill. At the same time, they also lack in the management skill. So this type of lacking in various skills hampers them to get a proper access to the market. Lack of training and capacity building, as I have told you that they are mostly situated in the rural areas, and they do not get proper opportunity to enhance their skill as well as to get the proper training. So this type of lack of training and capacity building will reduce their productivity, which in turn will reduce their income. So this is also a challenge. Credit mobilization. It is found that around 48% of the member of the self-help group, 48% of the member of self-help group has to take loan from money lenders, neighbors, or their family members, and they do not get a proper interface with the banking facility. And as you know, all these three people will going to charge a higher interest rate. If there will be higher interest rate, then there is a very high chances that the women who has taken the loan will not able to give back, which will in turn lead to vicious cycle of debt. So this is also a challenge, that credit mobilization, though government is taking the measures, but still a huge number of population who are involved in SSG is not able to get the formal credit facilities, and they are mostly relying on the money lenders and other member of the society to get the loan. Now we will going to see what government is doing, how government is trying to enhance the SSG in our country. Most important scheme is National Rural Livelihood Mission. They are targeting on SSG, they are providing skills, they are providing training. Along with that, they are also trying to give them a market access. So National Rural Livelihood Mission, which tries to emancipate the suffering of women and especially the rural population in terms of poverty, in terms of education and healthcare. So this become a very important scheme where government is directly targeting the self-help group to counter certain type of social issues like poverty and education and health. Secondly, financial inclusion and microfinance. As you know, government of India has taken a number of measures to enhance the inclusion in the financial institutions as well as into financial activities. For instance, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana has opened a number of bank accounts. Apart from that, there is one scheme related to NABARD SSG linkage scheme. So this type of financial inclusion helps the women or the member who are part of SSG to get formal credit from the banks. And at the same time, NABARD, SIDBI and various other banks provides loans and microfinance facilities to these groups. So one National Rural Livelihood Mission tries to handle the SSG in a holistic manner. Financial inclusion and microfinance like Jan Dhan and NABARD SSG linkage try to cater the problem of credit linkages or the problem of credit mobilization. Now we are going to see the other initiative taken by Government of India in order to boost SSG is interest subsidy and credit linkage. As I have given the example of the credit linkage like NABARD, SSG, SIDBI, there are a number of banks which provide credit facilities and microfinance facilities to the SSG. And there is other schemes like interest subsidy scheme. Actually, it is interest subvention scheme, especially for the capital goods. Capital goods means to boost the technological aspect of the SSG. Interest subvention scheme means that if a normal loan charging 8% of interest, suppose through this, if the member is taking the loan through this mode like interest subvention scheme, they have to give a lower rate, for instance 4%. So in this you can say that government is taking care of 4%, or government has provided 4% of interest subvention in this case. Finally, We are going to talk about capacity building and skill development. There are a number of schemes going on in the government of India, like Skill India Mission, Skill India Mission, to provide skill to the members of SSG as well as other member of the society. And they are also focusing on various things like financial literacy, Sarakshakta Abhiyan, financial literacy. Because financial literacy become very important for the SSG who are generally involved in the financial activities like income generating activities, as we have discussed. And skill development, like for instance, somebody is wanting to enhance the skill in plumbing. So there are a number of ITIs and other institute which provide certain type of skills. And we have to boost the penetration of this skill institution in the rural areas. At the same time, we can also create a conducive environment where women can go and get proper skills through various training centers. Market linkages and promotion enterprises. This is a very important aspect, as government is trying to enhance the market access through providing opportunity in the rural hearts. And along with that, they are also promoting to come on the digital platforms, like TriFed has come up with one portal where the goods, handicraft, art and architecture, arts and various other things of tribal population are sold on this platform made by TriFed. Now we will move to next topic. We have discussed all the thing related to self-help group, and you can also able to solve this question now, which has been asked in 2016. Now we will going to see the next topic, that is what next for the Indian economy. We have taken this article from the Hindu newspaper. And why we have taken this article? First of all, as you know, it will going to touch each and every aspect of the Indian economy. It will also going to cater the macroeconomic indicators. And one of the reports highlighted by, we have taken this news because one of the report by National Statistical Office highlight that India's GDP growth has reached 8.2%, which has what you say outperforming all the economic forecaster. Somebody has forecasted that it will be around 7.5%, but when it comes when this data is coming and National Statistical Office is saying that the GDP growth is 8.2, which is a very good sign for Indian economy. But we have to maintain such type of growth, 8.2% or beyond that, in order to achieve the goal, so that we become the third world largest economy. For that, what we have to do? Let us see in the next slide. As you know, agriculture remains one of the important areas in Indian economy, and around 55%, or you can say 45% people, 45% are directly involved in the agriculture activities, and around 55% of the total population are involved in agriculture and allied activities. And you know, there are a number of challenges associated with the agriculture sector, whether it being input, that we have to provide them high yielding varieties so that the production and the yield of the agriculture will be increased, which in turn will enhance the income of the farmer. Secondly, we can also enhance the marketing through integration of various state APMCs in eNAM platform. eNAM platform will provide a national platform for marketing for the sale and purchasing of agriculture commodities. Apart from that, Government of India has also come up with National Commodity Index. Right? They are also working in a future and options strategy in order to boost the production of the agriculture goods in our country. Apart from that, when we are focusing on agriculture, we mostly focus on the crops and cropping patterns. But when we are talking here with respect to agriculture, we also focus on the allied activities. As you know, Amul is one of the important success story related to cooperative federations, and it made India one of the largest or even the largest producer of milk in the world, right? So such type of cooperative federation can be translated in other areas as well, right? So we have to do that activity as well in order to boost the agriculture income. Apart from that, we can also wonder other allied activities like beekeeping, like rearing, like silkworming, and there are a number of other allied activities where the return is very high as compared to the traditional agriculture system. And secondly, what we have to do, we have to boost our agriculture exports. Agriculture exports will be boosted when we have a proper quality, when we have a proper quantity. Apart from that, we also have a proper logistic to sell or market in the not only in the domestic market but also in the global market. Apart from that, we can also enhance the agriculture through various negotiations, especially the exports of agri-good. As you know, we have signed a deal with Saudi Arabia. We will going to get the oils from them, and in return we are going to send them the food. So food for oil can be one strategy to boost our agricultural exports. So here we have talked about cooperatives, exports of agri goods, along with focusing on allied sectors, and also we can go for the international negotiation and arrangement where we can sell our food in with returns to other commodities. In this case, we are talked about oil. Now we are going to see second topic, how we have to enhance jobs in manufacturing sector. As you know, India's economic growth has followed a very different trend. They have directly jumped from agriculture sector to economic sector, and they have left the manufacturing sector. And you know, around 25 to 29% of the total GDP came from manufacturing sector only, and around more than 50% of the total GDP is coming from the service sector. So you can clearly see that manufacturing sector is not doing as well as we have expected, and that's why the Indian economy is dubbed as jobless growth. But we have to create jobs, because as you know, we have a huge population, and that whole population having an average age of 28 years, which means that there is a huge need of jobs in our country. So how can we enhance jobs in manufacturing sector? So one economic survey, if I am not wrong, of 2017 or 18, I'm not very sure about that economic survey. They have talked about that we have to enhance the size of small enterprises and medium enterprises into large enterprises, because it is found that by the study that small enterprises and medium enterprises do not able to cater huge job opportunity in that reason in that enterprise. But when it becomes large, it is able to handle a lot number of jobs, and it also create a number of job opportunity. So that is one way. So we can also go for enhancing the small medium scale enterprises into large scale, and for that we can go for production linked incentive scheme, zero effect zero defect, and there are a number of various schemes which we can opt in order to enhance the size of the MSMEs, and at the same time we can also enhance our ease of doing business, so that small enterprises can be opened very easily, where people can be employed in a small number. Now we are going to see the third thing, how we can make our manufacturing sector more competitive. There is a broad two challenges apart from other challenges. We are going to talk about two challenges here only. The two challenges is cross subsidization of electricity. What happens that the electricity charges to industries are very high as compared to agriculture sector or any other sector. What they are doing, they are charging more to the industry, and whatever they are earning from that high charge, they are compensating to the other member of the society, like agriculture farmers or the normal common man. So this type of cross subsidization or increased rate of power or electricity to industries hampers their competitiveness. Why? Because if the electricity charges will be high, that will be also reflected in the cost of the product. If the cost of the product is high, that will be demanded less in the economy. That's why their competitiveness is challenged because of this cross subsidization. Second issue is related to logistic cost. India is one of the country which have a very high logistic cost, because we do not opt for multimodal transit oriented development as well as multimodal transportation system. So that is the reason that's lead to high logistic cost. And at the same time, we are not utilizing our inland waterways, which is one of the cheap way for transportation. Government of India though has enacted one act, but there is no as such implementation of the act in the ground level. So this type of competitiveness, if you want to enhance the competitiveness of the manufacturing sector, we have to provide certain incentive to them so that they can invest to enhance, to enlarge their industries, at the same time to invest in new industries. Fourthly, we are going to talk about service sector. Service sector is a very good sector in our Indian economy. Around 52 to 53% of the total GDP is derived from this service sector. Apart from that, there is a huge opportunity of service export, especially in the education and health sector. As you know, the world population is increasing, especially the Japan and European countries are having very high increasing their total average age, which in turn will lead to number of associated diseases. And if we have as we have a very good quality of healthcare facilities, but we have to enhance that quality as well. We have to enhance the number of medical hospitals as well. If we are able to do that, that India will be the hub for less cost, better healthcare facilities. And this facility will be obviously will be exploited by the foreigners who are having the problem, who will come to our country, and through this process we will able to export our services, especially the health tourism, what we dubbed as. Secondly, as you know, India is a center of culture and center of various historical events, which provide it a very unique site for visiting. It has a huge cultural legacy, it has a huge historical legacy. Apart from that, India has a huge number of UNESCO World Heritage Site, which in turn provide a potential opportunity for tourism in India. So we have to utilize this potential in order to boost our service sector, which is also a very good sign for our Indian economy. Ease in labor movement. So we have signed a number of agreements with other countries, but the movement of people are generally not involved in such type of negotiation, and which lead to the which reduces the accessibility or the movement of population from one country to another, especially from India to other countries. So what we can do, we can create an opportunity where the foreign countries will be given the preferential access in investment and trade in good and services, and at the same time they should also give preferential access to our labor. In this way, we can able to enhance our labor movement in the foreign countries, which in turn will brought us remittances. India is the largest recipient of remittances, but due to this, if the labor movement increased, then we will able to enhance that remittances, and which will be utilized in enhancing the the quality of life of the rural population along with the India's GDP growth. Spurring investment. So there is a philosophy, there is a mindset among the investors that any country, if having proper law and order situation and their rule of law is adhered, they get more confident and they generally invest in that type of economy. And for that, what we have to do, we have to enhance our rule of law, and there are certain cases which highlight our challenges in our rule of law. For instance, many investors try to go for arbitration court in the foreign country rather than in India. Why? Because you know, in Indian judicial Indian system, there is a high pendency of cases, and at the same time, there is no as such fast track system. Though government has tried to make it, but it is not so much fruitful. There is no as such fast track system to curb the challenges, to come the problems of the investors, right? For such type of things, we have to enhance our ease of doing business, and for that we can make fast track courts. We can also make a dedicated court which will be going to cater the demands of the investor. Apart from that, we have also come up with Arbitration and Reconciliation Act, which will try to set up an international arbitration center in our country, which eventually enhance the confidence of the investor and thereby investment in our country. Second can be how we can enhance our investment. There can be in other ways as well. There other ways can be through foreign direct investment. We can ease certain various sectors where foreign direct investment can be done. So this is few things related to how to enhance our investment that will translate into better capital formation, which will also going to give sustained economic growth. Investment in disruptive technology. As you know, 21st century is dubbed as fourth industrial revolution, and there are a number of technologies like artificial intelligence, internet of things, robotics, and machine learning, and these are emerging technologies, and it has a very huge potential to create a new set of jobs, right? And that will be very high earning jobs. That's why this author is suggesting that we have to invest in the disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence, internet of things, and robotics, which will not only enhance the productivity and efficiency of the manufacturing and other sector, which will also going to create a very new set of job opportunity in our country. Health and education. Obviously, a healthy labor force will be more productive in their work, and at the same time they will going to take less leave, which will be also beneficial for the industry. Apart from that, education skill is mandatory to get a high-end job, to get high-net job. And at the same time, skill and education is also enhance the entrepreneur skills of the population, which will going to create new form of jobs, which will create new forms of industry, which will eventually boost our manufacturing sector and service sector and provide us a sustained economic growth. Now we will going to move on our preliminary discussion, that is xenotransplantation. Let me tell you regarding the transplantation, there are mainly three kinds of transplantation. One is known as autologous transplantation. Second is allogenic. And third is xenogenic. So here we are going to talk about xenogenic. Let me give a brief about autologous transplantation and allogenic. In autologous transplantation, what happens that if a transplantation of cells, tissues, organs are taking place within the same individual, means the individual is same. Suppose somebody want to change their skin of their face, so they can take the skin of the thigh to use in their face. This type of transplantation is known as autologous transplantation, and it has a very huge acceptability rate because immune system will not going to discard this type of transplantation because it is taken from the same body. Second is allogenic. Allogenic means that you are taking certain organs, tissues, or any kind of transplantation material from the same species. Species will be same, but the individual will be different, right? That is known as allogenic. When we are talking about xenogenic, it means that we are taking the tissue cells or transplanting the tissue cells from one species to another species. For instance, we are transplanting the heart of pig in the humans. So this type of transplantation are called as xenogenic transplantation or xenotransplantation. And let me read the news which will help you to understand what type of progress has taken in the xenotransplantation. A new study shows that how gene editing means manipulation of the genes, their sequence through insertion, through deletion, or through modification, we can change the expression of the gene, right? Immune suppression strategy. Immune suppression strategy means you are reducing the immune system of the respondent, that the person who is receiving the transplant. Which what happens? Let me tell you one thing before dwelling upon this topic. That whenever the transplantation happens, there is an embedded immune system in every individuals. What they think that whenever transplantation of any organ and tissue take place in a human body, that autoimmune system get started, and they treat this transplanted material as an enemy material, and they start targeting it and is trying to destroy it. So for that, our immune system do not destroy such type of transplantation materials, certain immune suppressant are given to the individuals. For example, steroid is one of a kind for immune suppression. One is using during COVID-19, as you know. How gene editing and immune suppression strategies can prolong the survivability of pig kidney transplants. The findings indicate that genetically modifying donor pigs could extend transplant lifespan, improve clinical outcomes. So they are saying that if we have a genetically modified pig organs, they can be utilized in transplantation to other species, especially in the human species. Now move on to see the other aspect of this topic. As I have told you, xenotransplantation is a procedure that involves transplantation and implantation into human recipient or any other species, but we are concerned about human, so we are taken here human as only. Human recipient of either living cells, tissues, organs from a non-human animal source, human body fluid, cells, tissue. These are the materials which are transplanted from one species to another. Why there is a need? As you know that organ donation or requirement of organ is very important in various cases like accident, like failure of kidneys, like failure of lungs, where transplantation of organ take place. But what is the challenge? That suppose their donor is situated in Kerala, he want to donate his heart or donate his liver. For instance, he want to donate his liver, but the recipient is sitting in Delhi, and the lifespan of that liver or the kidney, whatever you are going to transplant, is 3 hours. So is it possible to transplant, to take out the organs from that donor and to carry that organ to Delhi within 3 hours? Is it possible? So this type of distance or timing lead to a number of challenges associated with the organ transplantation. It most of the time lead to organ failures. So in order to curb this thing, what they are trying to say that certain species like pig species can be utilized in order to transplant important organs to the human being. That's why this is the need. What is the source? Why have taken a pig as a source? Because the size of the organs of the pig are very much similar to human beings, and they live for 30 years. So we can get a different size of organs. So we can transplant it to the child, we can transplant it to the old population as well. So this type of source become very important, which tries to cater the needs of various ages through various development. And what type of transplant material can be taken? Red blood cell, neuronal cells, eye tissues, lungs, hearts, liver, pancreatic islands. So there are a number of transplantation material which can be transplanted from one species to another, that is dubbed as xenotransplantation. What is the limitations? So there is a one limitation, that there is no as such success story of xenotransplantation. In the last year only, or in 2024 itself, one xenotransplantation has occurred in USA, where the heart of the pig is transplanted into the kidney of the pig is transplanted into human being, and they are kept in ICU. But after 2 months, the patient died because the organ was not accepted. The factor given is that there is a kind of virus present in the heart or kidney of that pig, which led to the failure of that organ. So such type of limitations are there, that the transplantation which is taking from one species to other species is not yet successful in the world. Now we are going to solve one MCQ based on this topic. UPSC in the past has asked related to aerial metagenomics. You can go and solve this question. We are going to solve the practice question. Xenotransplantation, sometimes in news, is best described by which of the following? Process of transplanting vital organs from deceased human donors. As we have seen that it is known as allogenic. Technique for growing organs in laboratory using stem cells. That is not the thing. We are not developing any stem cells in the laboratory. Thirdly, process of transplanting live cells or organs from one species to another species. This is the correct answer, what we have talked about, right? So in this question, C is the correct answer. Now move to our next topic, That is Ranthambore National Park. It came on Hindu newspaper. The figure of tiger only came on the Hindu newspaper, and we have taken this because species become very important for UPSC preliminary examination. Now we are going to see certain fact related to Ranthambore National Park. So it is located in Savai Madhepur district, and earlier in 1955 it was made a game sanctuary by Government of India. And as you know, in 1972 Wildlife Protection Act come into picture, and which lead to the formation of enactment of Project Tiger. So in 1973 Ranthambore National Park, Ranthambore Sanctuary become Tiger Reserve. But eventually in 1980 this national park, this Tiger Reserve become National Park in 1980. Right? And let me tell you one more important thing, that Ranthambore National Park hosts Ranthambore Fort, right? And it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it become very important for UPSC examination, because certain type of question has been asked in the UPSC, whether they are asking certain population are living in the national park or not. We will going to see in this discussion only. And what are the flora and fauna of this region, Ranthambore? It is Rajasthan. So one can predict that there will be no evergreen forest as such, right? Rajasthan have a very low precipitation rate and the temperature are generally high. So the vegetation will be dry deciduous forest to open grassy meadows. As you know, dry deciduous forest plants like neem, like banyan tree, mango can also be found in that region. It will be kind of a vegetation in that region. Apart from that, there will be certain xerophytic vegetations like cactus will also be found, but not in this Ranthambore National Park. But when you are going west of the Ranthambore National Park, you will also going to find xenophytic vegetations. What are the faunas? As you know from the figure itself, that tiger is one of the fauna of that region. That is Ranthambore National Park. If tiger is there, then what other species can be present? There is a need of primary consumers. Primary consumer is the food for the carnivorous like tiger. So primary consumers like cheetal, spotted deers, a number of other primary consumer will be also present. And there are a number of carnivores present in that region, right? Like jackal, desert fox, and serpent eagle. And let me tell you one more thing, that this Ranthambore National Park, in the north, it is bounded by Banas River. In the south, it is bounded by Chambal River. And you know, Chambal River is very important for crocodiles. So you will also going to find crocodile in Ranthambore region, right? This is the region, Banas in the north, Chambal in the south, and they are generally found at the adjoining of Aravallis and Vindhyas river, right? Vindhya range and Aravali range. Now we are going to solve one MCQ based on this topic. UPSC in the past has asked related to India's desert national park. You will going to find this answer. The answer is C here, and you can also going to solve it. Practice question. With reference to Ranthambore National Park, consider the following statement. It is spread in 3 districts. As I have told you, it is located in Savai Madhopur district. So this statement is incorrect. It is bounded by Chambal River in the north and Luni River in the south. In the north of Ranthambore National Park, there is a Banas River, right? In the south, there is a Chambal River. There is no attachment of Ranthambore with Luni River. So this statement is also incorrect. It hosts a UNESCO World Heritage Site. As I have told you, Ranthambore Fort is situated in this national park and is an important UNESCO World Heritage Site. So in this question, only one statement 3 is correct. That is, only one answer is correct. Now we will move to our next topic. That is Eflow monitoring system. We have taken this article from the Hindu newspaper, and the article read like this. center launches portal to ecologically monitor Ganga, right? So it is important to monitor Ganga. As you know, Ganga is a very important river for our country, not only from the perspective of irrigation and canal irrigation and other type of things. It is also important from the perspective of culture and spiritual enlightenment. And there are a number of oldest cities are situated along the Ganga river. And you know, if we are not able to protect Ganga river, then survivability and the livelihood opportunity of that region will be drastically compromised. So government of India has taken measures so that they can monitor or gauge the pollutant level, the quality of water at a real time basis. So they have come up with Eflow monitoring system. What is Eflow? Eflow is ecological flow. It is a flow of the river only, which can able to sustain various things. For instance, it describes the quantity, timing, as well as quality of the water that is necessary to fulfill the needs of the fresh water and other ecosystem. Apart from that, they also should fulfill the human livelihood needs as well as their well-being. For instance, they can also fulfill irrigation and other activities. Apart from that, they are very significant in sense of culture and spiritual need. So if the ecological flow or the flow of the river can able to sustain the freshwater ecosystem along with the human livelihood and their spiritual and cultural needs, then e-flow can be considered as a sustainable e-flow. So in order to maintain a sustainable e-flow, e-monitoring platform, e-monitoring system or e-flow monitoring system has been enacted by Ministry of Jal Shakti under National Mission of Clean Ganga. The purpose is to monitor real-time monitoring of river quality, particularly focusing on Ganga, Yamuna and its tributaries. Why tributaries? Because if a pollution are disposed in the tributaries, it will going to find their place into the main channel as well. So we have to cater the ecological flow of the tributaries as well in order to maintain the main river, that is river Ganga or Yamuna. That main channel we have to maintain or sustain it. As I have told you, the function will be checking the performance of sewage treatment plant, which generally treat the water, and after that it discharge into the rivers, which is very important for the population who are situated in the adjoining region of the Ganga. It takes activities under Namami Gange program at a center level, so it will also act as a regulatory method in order to gauge the implementation of National Ganga Mission, right? National Clean Ganga Mission. It ensures that the sewage treatment plant will work on a full capacity or a sustainable capacity, so that the treatment of water or wastewater can be done and the water which are disposed should be treated before discharging into the river ecosystem. Let us solve one question based on this topic. UPSC in the past has asked one question based on National Ganga River Basin Authority. Go and solve this question. Now we are going to solve the practice question. With reference to e-flow monitoring system, consider the following statement. It will measure the e-flow of Ganga river and its tributaries. Yeah, it is correct. Partially correct, but it is correct. It is not talking about only Ganga. They are talking generally that it will going to cater or measure the e-flow of river Ganga and its tributaries. It is launched by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It is launched by Ministry of Jal Shakti, right? So this statement is incorrect. Thirdly, e-flow of rivers also incorporate culture and spiritual needs in India. Yes, it incorporate culture and spiritual needs. So two statements are correct, is 1 and 3. So option B will be the correct answer. That's all from our side. Have a good day and kindly comment in the comment box, and do not forget to like and subscribe our channel, especially for getting the quality answers key along with their explanation.